Meet my mom, Ginger, who's over 50, overweight, and has limited strength and coordination due to an incident that happened a year ago.
Excited. A little nervous.
Are you?
Yes, I know it'll be good.
Ginger's goal is to climb her first V3 in just 6 weeks. Climbing V3s, by the way, require a lot of strength and coordination, which can be challenging for any beginner. That's where I come in. I'm Sarah from Stand Edition, and I help people feel better physically, mentally, and emotionally through climbing. This isn't just another project for me. I want to help my mom get stronger and more coordinated so she can live a healthy life. Each week we'll be diving into a new technique to help her progress and crush her climbing goals. In this episode, we're focused on the foundational movement that will set her up for success. Join Ginger's 6-week challenge and start applying what you learn as we go. By the end of the series, you will be amazed at how much you've improved and will be ready to climb that V3 you've been eyeing. So come along and let's climb to new heights together. This episode is sponsored by Madrock, but more on that later. There are 3 keys to climbing that are foundational and should be addressed as quickly as possible in your climbing experience. Key 1 is leveraging your feet while climbing. We stand and walk on our feet, so it'll be a lot easier to climb routes when we leverage our feet the same way we do when we walk and stand. Ginger, like many beginners, tend to place as much of her foot on a hold as possible. But if she wants to leverage her feet while climbing, she's going to need to feel balanced while pivoting or standing on a higher hold. To enable that movement, she'll need to climb on her toes, similar to how we walk upstairs. However, instead of using the balls of our foot, we're going to use the big toe itself. Place your big toe on the best part of the foothold. This way you can grab onto the hold with your toes. In addition to being able to use small footholds, every movement we plan to teach Ginger in the next 6 weeks will depend on her being able to do this. Knowing that you need to climb on your toes and actually being able to do so are 2 different things. Luckily, my wife knows 2 drills that can help. As long as Ginger completes these drills every time she goes climbing, she'll be able to leverage this key. The first drill is called back and forth, which is essentially traversing. Find a place in the gym where you have decent hand and footholds. Often gyms have a kid area that is perfect for this drill. Move from one side to the other over and over again while practicing foot placements and using that big toe properly. A move that goes perfectly with this next drill is called bug squishers. If your foot bumps up and down on a hold, then it's likely you don't feel confident placing your weight on that foot. To prevent that, you can treat the hold like a bug that you would squish. Keep in mind, you wouldn't squish a bug by using the arch of your foot or by bouncing your foot around. No, we squish a bug by making eye contact with the bug, watch your toes squish that bug, and then you pivot your foot back and forth to make sure it's flattened. You can do the exact same thing to a foothold. Make eye contact with the hold and watch your toes squish that hold. Then pivot your foot while placing your weight on the hold. Luckily, the drill called bug squishers can help train this move. To complete the drill, you will complete a climb by using bug squishers on every single hold. By doing this on at least one route every time you climb, you will eventually be able to use the skill while you climb without even thinking about it. This is so useful. Before we dive into our next climb, I want to give a shout out to the sponsor of this video, Madrock Climbing. They've generously provided Ginger and Stand Edition team with a pair of Rover climbing shoes. These shoes are the perfect balance of beginner comfort and professional grade support, which is perfect for this 6-week challenge. As a special bonus to our viewers, you get a 10% discount on Rover shoes by using the code SENDEDITION at checkout. A link to the shoes are in the description below. I've always been a fan of Madrock, so I am incredibly grateful for this opportunity to work with them on this project. Key 2 is leveraging your hands and fingertips to match the challenge and orientation of the handholds. Ginger, like many beginners, struggle with smaller holds or holds that are different shapes or sideways. However, it doesn't have to be a point of failure or frustration. Almost every handhold has an edge that you can use to place your fingertips on. When Ginger saw the start of this route, she didn't think she could do it. But after applying this key, well, let's just show you how it went. The direction or the orientation of the handhold also changes how you place your hands. If the edge of the hold is directly on top of the hold, then you'll orient your hand up and down to follow the direction of the edge. If the edge is on the side of the hold, then you'll orient your hand to the side as well. To make this even easier, place your body in the opposite direction of the edge. If the edge is on top, then squat your body down to be below the hold. If the edge is to the right, then put your body to the left.
I felt strong on it.
Yes. Yeah, how does that feel with like this last year?
Oh my gosh. I mean, it's a year ago yesterday. I wasn't walking. I couldn't talk. You know, I'm walking and talking obviously, but I just did that. My strength is, you know, when you lay in a hospital bed for a month and paralysis, your body's shut down. It's with Guillain-Barré and Miller-Fisher in particular I had, it was from the head down, and so I can see, which is really awesome too. It's just feels good. I know that I have a long ways to go. I have a lot of strength to build, but I know, like, going from a 80-year-old grip strength, which is what the occupational therapist for the small motor skills told me, you know, that's about where I am, that this is going to help me, you know. I have no doubt, because of the way I feel right now, that it's got to do nothing but help me and give me confidence that wow, surprisingly lost. I mean, gosh, I'm breathing on my own, I don't have a tube in my stomach, I'm eating on my own. So those are big milestones too, of being able to finish something like this, you know, to be able to improve.
I'm also highly invested in your recovery. You came and lived with me. When I got burns on my hands, you know, you slept on my couch and you changed my bandages twice a day, and you showered me, like, literally. I'm really glad that climbing is part of my life and that I can share it with you, and hopefully it can help you build that confidence you're talking about. And
Sure.
You've got a lot of life changes going on right now. Hopefully it can help you build friendship too, and a community. And
you know, and watching you come back from that and getting back on a wall and then rocks out in nature, it's a big deal too, you know, watching you do that. Overcoming that mental head game that has to be there for that. It builds me too. And I love you. I love you too. Thank you. I'm glad you're my daughter.
Key 3 is minimizing the use of small muscles while relying on the big ones. Ginger was noticing that her arms were getting really tired while she climbed. This was because she would pull her body into the wall with her arms to make the next move. Good job.
That wore me out. But I made it.
You made it.
It's a lot easier before though, I feel.
A better movement would be to adjust her hips and shoulders so that the majority of her weight was in her legs and shoulders. A lot of times this concept gets simplified to climb with straight arms, but this simplification actually makes it harder for beginner climbers, especially those with a bit more weight on them. Ginger can use her body to her advantage. She can move her weight to the side and provide a little bit of momentum to reach the next hold by swinging her hips slightly. Yes, she'll get more out of the movement by keeping her arms straight, but the goal and focus is not straight arms. arms. Instead, it's moving her body to get to the next hold. This will free up pressure on small muscles like the forearms and biceps while putting most of it on the glutes and core. Eventually, Ginger will climb with straighter arms, but that isn't the end goal. It's a symptom of leveraging the right muscles, her body, and movement to reach the next hold. Good, way to move your weight. Once you understand this movement and are able to use it on your climbs, you can start training this skill. To train this skill, you can do straight arms drill, which is where you climb a route while maintaining straight arms. This will force you to leverage your core and legs the way we discussed. Eventually, with a lot of practice, you'll be able to actually climb full routes with straight arms, but remember, straight arms is not the goal. The goal is to use your body to your advantage. Twist, swing, engage that core, and make the moves. If your arms bend slightly, that is a-okay. You are ready for the secret strategy that will make the next few levels of climbing so much easier. Route setters at a climbing gym have an intended way for you to climb their routes. If you climb it the way they intend, then it will be so much easier. But how do you know what the route setters intend? Ginger has just learned this secret strategy and it's already making climbing so much easier for her. It's a 4-part process that you actually do before you even touch the route. Step 1 is you review the holds of the route. Make sure you look at all of the handholds and the footholds. Step 2, look for the chalk and the black marks that are on the hold. This will tell you where people are placing their hands, the white part, the chalky part, and where people are placing their feet, the black part that comes from their shoes. Step 3. Now look at the start holds and identify the position you need to be in order to find or make the next move of the route. And then from there, what position do you need to be in to make the second move, third move, and so forth until you figured out each position from top to bottom of the route. Step 4 is to climb the route, making all the moves in your mind before you get to the route. That's right, you're going to pretend in your mind and imagine what it's like to actually climb it before you touch the holds. Everyone struggles with this 4-part strategy of climbing, but those who learn how to harness it find climbing significantly easier than those who don't. So practice this strategy and become a climbing master the easy way. And for those who are alternative learners, if you get stuck, consider starting at the top of the route and working your way down with figuring out what holds you need to use. It may surprise you how different you will work through the process of figuring out the route, but some climbers, this is the only way they can do it, so consider trying it. Ginger seems to grasp these moves fast, but she has her work cut out for her if she's going to climb her first V3 in 6 weeks. Do you think she can do it? In the next episode, we're going to reveal a key skill that every climber should master first. This skill will help Ginger level up faster than she ever thought possible. Don't miss it. Tune in to next week's episode of Ginger's 6-week challenge here.